Alright, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Sunday evening about 7/11, November the 3rd, 2019. Oh my God, we are almost into 2020. It's crazy. This year has flown by. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Let's take those off. It creates a glare and drives me nuts. I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a week or so since I posted a video, so I wanted to get something up. Remember, as always, to like and subscribe and tell your friends, and let's grow the Meanie Army. Remember, you can find me on Discord, and you can find me here, of course, on YouTube. You can email me at jpolack, P-O-L-A-C-K, @gmail.com. I wanted to just check real quick and see how many subscribers we're up to. It's easy to do it on my phone. We are up to 581 subscribers, so thank you to all the latest subscribers. I appreciate it. Let's give a big shout out to Robert Blank, Teng Wenzi, and then a couple people made notes. Elliot Benitez, Iron Shamrock 13, Salty Monkey, Kenneth Gallivan. Melissa Shelton is actually my cousin, so thank you for subscribing. My cousin through marriage. So a big shout out to all those new people that subscribed. Thank you very much. I hope you find something you like, and if there's something you want to see reviewed or talked about, jump on Discord and shoot me a message or shoot a message here, and I will endeavor to accommodate you. So today's, and as always, I take donations via Zelly Pay or PayPal Pay Me. There's always links in the video to PayPal Pay Me and to Zelly Pay. If you're a mobile banker, which who isn't nowadays, it's usually on your phone in your banking app. The nice thing about it is, unlike Patreon and all those other services, they don't take a cut. It's baked into the banking institution. So whatever you send me, it all goes to me. So, and also it's super quick. So if you send me money like tonight, I'll get it tonight, and it'll be in my bank account tonight. So, and just be aware that whatever is sent to me is put back into the channel. So I appreciate you guys. It helps a lot, because one of the things you guys allowed me to do was to back the Tome of Delving Kickstarter. At the time I backed this, which was beginning of the year, I was running a D&D 5th edition game. And I've talked about D&D. I have a love-hate relationship with D&D. I really like it, but I just think there are much better fantasy games out there. D&D is a fine game, and I do enjoy it, but as a GM, it just doesn't do it for me. I love watching Critical Role. I think it's awesome. I can tell you right now, I'm super excited because some of the Critical Role cast, say that 5 times fast, along with the Brian W. Foster, who does Between the Sheets. Brian is married to Ashley Johnson, who is a member of the Critical Role team. He does a series of videos where he interviews people that are in and around the Critical Role stuff. And it's really good reviews and stuff, talking about how they got into the industry, D&D, what it's meant to them, and so on and so forth. So it's a really good series, Between the Sheets. It's on YouTube. It's on their criticalrole.com. You can go there and check out some videos. It's really good. Anyway, but right now they're doing, I think it's a 3-part. I think this is the last part, which just aired. I'm not sure. I think it's 3 parts, but they did a Halloween special, Undeadwood, which is basically Deadlands, with Matt Mercer as a gunslinger, Travis Willingham as a preacher, Marisha Ray as some sort of dilettante, maybe a hexter, we're not sure, and then some other notable members that have been in and around Critical Role and various, voice actors and stuff. So really cool. Brian W. Foster is the GM, or the Marshal, and they're using the Savage Worlds Deadlands rules. So very cool. I'm personally a very large fan of the original Deadlands, which I did back the 20th anniversary of it. And it's up there on the shelf in the very top somewhere. I think it's over here somewhere. I'm not sure. There's a shelf above that you guys can't see. So anyway, neither here nor there. But anyway, if you haven't watched that and you're a fan of Matt Mercer and Critical Role, go check it out. I think you'll like Undeadwood. But Matt is a player this time, not the GM. But anyway, on to tonight's video du jour. I backed this on Kickstarter a while ago. It was pretty neat. It is basically, hardback book. It is stitched binding. does have some ribbons. It's got a slipcover on it. The Tome of Delving explores your character sheet and notebook. Designed for use with the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, it's a character book with specialized pages for tracking your character's stats, spells, inventory, NPCs, treasure, and more. And then it has a couple things. But what I wanted to do is take it off. It's just basically a gray book, like your old textbooks. There's nothing amazing. It is color coded on the side so that you can flip to the section you want to get to. So there's a big section for notes. Of course, your first couple of pages, you have your intro page. You know, you can say this notebook belongs to, you know, and your DCI number. So evidently this may be legal at DCI games. I'm not quite sure. But we're looking at 166 pages. And this is basically a hardback book it's a character journal. There's been a number of Kickstarters that tried to do this and they've all failed for whatever reason. His got off the ground. I don't think it was hugely funded. I backed it, just planning to get one because I thought it was a very novel idea, and who knows, maybe one day I'd get the chance to play, because that never happens. Anybody that's followed my channel for a long time knows I am typically stuck as the GM. So and that's fine. I don't have a real beef with that. That's just the way it is. I'm going to their Kickstarter page, but for some reason it's being stupid. It appears that Chrome is lagging out on me. Or not Chrome, but Brave. There it goes. There, I don't know what it's doing. And now it's going to Slay Industries, which is another Kickstarter that I backed. I backed it a while ago, and those rewards will be coming in shortly. I don't know why this is being so dumb. Well, anyway, we won't deal with it right now. I was going to tell you how much they made on Kickstarter. They didn't make a whole lot, but I guess there was a printing error or there was a misquote. There was some sort of mistake, and a positive mistake that was made. And so what it did is it allowed Brian Schmidt, the designer, to give everybody double what they ordered. So I ordered a single tome of Delving. And it comes with a cool slipcover. And what's nice about the slipcover is there's actions in combat, common equipment, and how much it all cost. And then on the inside leaflet on the back side is simple weapons and how much they cost and their damage, and martial weapons. And that's all on the inside leaflets. And then there's nothing on the inside. So nice slipcover. But it's just basically like a textbook out of college. I really like it. We got 2 ribbon bookmarks. This was not terribly expensive. I think all said and done, it cost me under $20, and I got 2 of these. I gave one to my friend Bobby. For his birthday was Friday night, and we had our Pathfinder game. He just joined my group, and he told me it was his birthday. He was like, "Can I expect some special loot?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you something good." And so I gave him my extra one of this. But it's got your character details, a spot for a portrait. What's nice is you could use a glue pen or a glue stick, and you could just, you know, put that in there and, put some glue on the back. And I don't think it'll warp the pages too much. Usually those glue sticks dry pretty well. And, if you're a little bit of a crafter, and most D&D players, fantasy gamers, tabletop gamers, have some sort of crafting in them, whether it's painting miniatures or making terrain or whatever. So it's really cool. You got you can do your banner. There's a spot for your flaws, your other background, all your RPG elements in the back, your traits, feats, and boons, which is pretty awesome. And then it gets into traits, feats, and boons. You get a couple pages of that. Abilities and traits. And what's nice is they give you plenty of space to write this out. So one of the things you could do, if you're like me and you hate writing and you're more of a typist, you could pull up your PDF copy of your books, cut and paste onto a Word document, and then print it out and just glue it in here and have it. And it's not as big and bulky as a 3-ring binder or those pre-done D&D character journals that they have. I've showed you guys one before, which are, they're 12 by 13 or something like that. They're a little bit big. This is, a little bit smaller than a sheet of paper and will fit in your backpack. And it's hardback, so it's not going to get demolished right away. So you've got all that. You got several pages for abilities, and then you go to your computations. This is really neat. What this is going to allow you to do is build out your character, and you can see what you get at every level when you level up and all the good things that you get. So not only will you have, your player's handbook with you or whatever source you're using, if you're maybe Tal'Dorei or whatever, whatever book you're using, the new Eberron book or whatever, you'll be able to have that, and then your GM can see exactly how you spent your points and what feats and abilities you took, because it's all marked right here very clearly. So it's very well done. Investigation, all your skills with a center spot here for your attributes, and then the skills broken down on either side, your dexterity save, everything. Then combat page. So this is laid out really well. Attacks per action, cast a spell, you can highlight those or whatever. Basic offhand attack, attack opportunity attacks, your maximum hit points, your temporary hit points, your death saving throws right there, armor class, initiative, and speed, your spell slots if you're a magic user or any kind of caster, everything is in there. And then your companion. I thought this was really neat because they also give you a spot for, again, you could print off or find a cool image and you could trim it to that dimension and then, paste it in there, and that would be totally solid. I've got a big white patch of mustache hair right there. I swear it's not food on my face or something. It's just white hair. It's so funny. But yeah, so there's your companion. And of course, there's a bear in the grayed out, maybe a little homage to Trinket, perhaps, because I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of empty spaces, wild shape, ammunition. So basically, I'm not going to go through every page, but the treasure for spots for treasure, there's notes. Let's see what else is in here. Quest log, so you can give a spot, who gave you the quest, what was their name, what was the location, given by, title, description. There is some graph paper in the back for those who like to doodle the dungeon as they're going through it, or castle, or building or whatever. So, and again, 2 ribbons, gorgeous book, and it was dirt cheap. They are currently out of Kickstarter, and like I said, this was a Kickstarter reward. I got 2 for the price of 1, and I had to cover shipping, and like I said, it was under, I want to say it was under 20 bucks. I want to say it was under 18 bucks. I think it was like $16, which included 2 of these and shipping here in the US. They're out of New York, so I'm in Duluth, so shipping wasn't too horrible. And I got 2 of them. They were both shrink wrapped. You can see they're pristine. There's no dings on the cover, so it was packaged really well. So they seem to do a good job. So I just wanted to talk about that for a second and point it out that, some Kickstarters are awesome. There's a lot of bad press going around right now with a lot of Kickstarters that are hosing people. But I've said this before and I'll say it again, Kickstarter for me is to support the little guys, the small press guys that are working out of their garage and out of their house on their personal computer, and they're making neat and innovative stuff. It's not the big, huge companies. Monty Cook is obviously the hugest offender I can think of, where they're spitting out these games and they're putting them on Kickstarter, charging you a premium, and basically using Kickstarter as a pre-order. And unfortunately, Savage Worlds is doing it as well, and I just feel it's a disservice. I think these guys should move over and make room for the little guys like this guy that are, making that Tome of Delving and innovative products, and things like that. I really am not trying to support any big manufacturers. Like I just saw Mantic Games has got a new dungeon delving game, and it looks amazing. The miniatures look really nice. Mantic is they are kind of the alternative to Warhammer Citadel. They're over in the UK as well, and they do great products. I love their games, but I'm not going to support the Kickstarter. If it comes out in a retail box and I can buy it on the shelf, I'll buy it on the shelf. I'm not going to support them via Kickstarter, because I think that money would be better spent to the small companies like this guy and people that are doing innovative things. I saw one guy is there's one for healing potions. And if you watch Critical Role, you're watching any of the D&D or Pathfinder live streams out there, there's a couple of them have these little crystal decanters, and they put some food coloring with some wax or some gel in there to make it look like red, like a healing potion, and they put whatever kind of dice it is, and they put those dice in there, and then of course they can give it to the players as a prop, and that's innovative and that's neat. I personally don't feel that is something I need to go to Kickstarter and buy. I have plenty of crafting stores here in Duluth. It's actually kind of a big hobby here. We have a Michaels and a Hobby Town, so which are both huge craft, homes, things like that. So I can make those myself, and I'm actually planning on doing it when I get some disposable income. I'm going to go buy a couple of those little jars and put some dice in them, and use that for my players. I think that's a great idea, but I don't need to support that on Kickstarter. Some people aren't maybe as crafty as that and can't do that, and that's fine. And Kickstarter may be a better way, or they live in a town where there's not those supplies, so it's easier for them to just buy it on Kickstarter. Or maybe they're just lazy and don't want to be bothered with it, and want to pay someone to do the work for them, and that's fine. So I think that's really neat. And to me, that's what Kickstarter's for. Kickstarter is to support these little companies, guys working out of their garage, struggling to make, a dollar out of a dime, as I like to say. And I want to support those guys. I don't want to support the WotC or the Pinnacle or, even my beloved Ulysses Spiel that makes the Dark Eye. Although I do back the Dark Eye games. That's my one caveat. I back them. They only come out on Kickstarter, and then after Kickstarter, they release their product to the store. So if you want it, you've got to get it from Kickstarter right away. If you don't want to wait. If you do wait, you've got to wait to buy it in a store, and it may not come to your game store. So the closest decent game store I have is 2.5 hours away. In the cities, it's called The Source. It's in a phenomenal game store if you've ever been there. There's also the Fantasy Flight Game Center, which has a game store as well, but they pretty much only cater to certain things. They don't have like a huge RPG section. They have a decent section, and sometimes you can find things, and they do carry the Dark Eye, but they don't carry it as extensively as The Source does. The Source has like everything they've put out for the Dark Eye. So that being said, I usually, when I make my trip down to the cities, because I'm up in Duluth, which is way north, 2.5 hours north, I usually go to The Source first, spend my whatever money I've allocated for that, and then I go to Fantasy Flight. And if I find something cool, if I don't, it's no big deal. But it's nice to go there. I highly recommend it. It's got a huge rec room. They have open gaming. They're always doing tournaments of some kind. There's Magic tournaments. There's Star Wars Legion tournaments. There's Star Wars. The miniatures with the ships. I can't think of the name of the game, but yeah. So I highly recommend it. So the other thing I wanted to babble about, so now that we've got that out of the way, and you guys, if you didn't know my stance on Kickstarter, now you kind of know, but I do have a couple other videos in the archives. Go back on my YouTube channel and look, you'll see, I think I even do a Kickstarter rant where me and James from Feral Games Inc. talk about Monty Cook and how he is totally raped the Kickstarter scene. This guy's made more money than some small countries, and he's still going, and I don't know why people support him, but I don't want to get into it. That's my personal belief. If you like Monty Cook games, good for you. I won't play him. I don't like him, and B, I just don't like his tactics and methods. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The other thing I wanted to talk about to give some substance to this video is I'm running a weekly Pathfinder game, 2nd edition. Really enjoying it. Really enjoying the mechanics and everything for the game. And I'm having a lot of fun. And 2 new books came out that I had picked up. I had pre-ordered on Amazon, which is the Lost Omens World Guide. So if you're a player, this is an excellent resource. It's going to tell you all about the land. We're playing in Absalon right now, so I've been reading up on the Absalon section because there's very little in the GM book. There's a decent amount, but there's more in here. And this is really more like a gazetteer or an almanac for the world of Golarion. But it's really well done. It's a very cool cover. I think we're looking at, let's see, how many pages are we looking at? We're looking at 132 pages, full color, hardback. Let's see what the retail was. Retail was $36.99. I believe with Amazon Prime, I got it for $31. So $5 savings, $6 savings. To me is worth it. Shipped to my house. I didn't even have to leave. It came very well packaged, so no damage to the book. It comes with a full color map on the inside that you can pull out. And it's, like I said, it's really wonderful. It's a double-sided map as well. I think one side is Absalon, which is the main continent, and then the other map is a world map. So this is neat. It's got a lot of good stuff. Just a brief overview. It's got Absalon and the Starstone Isle, and that's 12 pages of content. So that's really good. And we have the Broken Lands, the Eye of Dread, the Golden Road, the High Seas, the Impossible Lands, Mwangi Expanse, Old Sheliax, Saga Lands, and the Shining Kingdoms. And then we have a glossary and index. And what's nice is they go in here and they tell you about everything. If you're watching the YouTube channel for Pathfinder of Lost Omens, I think they're up to like episode 30 or something, and they're in season 2. I'm still watching. I'm only on episode 10 or 11. I can't remember. One of the things that they highlighted and they went to the Broken Lands. Their ship, they were on a ship, and they spoilers if you're planning on watching it, but they wash up in the Broken Lands. Each section they give you, they break it down to a little information there. It tells you the type of people, the main predominant factions, the resources that land has, the religions that they have, and then the nation. So, and then of course there's always a little map, and then some very cool art, and then it goes into talking about everything. But one of the cool things is there's Rasmirians. Let's go that way. Rasmirians, which this is a self-imposed god supposedly, and he's created this cult, and they own this. They're like knee deep in the land, and it's very militaristic, and everything is given to the cult, and they come and they confiscate your weapons, and they take everything. It's not horrible, but it's not the greatest. And there's strife in the land, and there's some bad things going on, and there's some good things going on. But what the ultimate goal of the Rasmir is, nobody knows. And then their cultists and their clerics all wear this mask, and it's the same mask, and it's very spooky. But it's good information. It's a great plot for GMs to use and hook their players. And I don't think I'm going to take my players there. Right now we're in Absalon, and they're just doing a bunch of dungeon crawling and stuff like that, and they're trying to become members of the Pathfinder Society. So a lot of great information in here. Like I said, mostly a gazetteer. It's got a who's who. They talk about a lot of pertinent NPCs, and just lots of good information. They do give you like a list of NPCs, notable people of that land for whatever the area is. So lots of good information here. Not needed for a player, but helpful. I would say needed for a GM. I would say that if you're the GM for your Pathfinder game, this is something you want to pick up. I think it will give you a wealth of information, and the players, it'll just help them. There's no spoilers in here. If there's any plot point campaigns or anything like that, except whatever's in your world, but in the main world and everything, there's no spoilers. This is just basically information, and it's very handy. I'm enjoying it very much. I'm glad I picked it up. The other one that just came out, and it came out first, was the Lost Omens Character Guide. This is a player necessity, in my opinion. There's a wealth of information in the player's handbook, or the main Pathfinder book, at 641 pages. It is a tome, and this just adds more. And again, this went for $34.99. I think it has slightly fewer pages. Let's check. 132, and the World Guide had 132. So same thing, but this one comes with a map. This was $36.99. This is $34.99. So maybe that map is the $2 difference, but same page count. And real quick, we'll just go and it goes into each of the races. So humans, dwarves, elves, gnomes, goblins, halflings. You have new ancestries, new organizations, The organizations are the Firebrands, the Hell Knights, the Knights of Last Wall, the Mangambia Academy, the Pathfinder Society, which I have to read up on because my players are going that route, and then an NPC gallery, and then theme templates. These simple templates can be applied to NPCs or monsters from the Pathfinder bestiary to create custom adversaries or allies that strive to advance an organization's goals. And then the glossary and index. I'm going to say I've only kind of flipped through this a little bit, but man, it's got some cool stuff. There's a couple templates in here that are just totally cool. A very, very, very cool stuff. Changeling Hell Knight. Wow, that's just crazy cool. Stone Giant Monk. I don't want to run into one of those. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. The art is beyond phenomenal. I mean, the dwarf there is super cool, and then this young lady, if there's not too much of a glare there, is just amazing. That's a Pathfinder Venture Captain. And he's obviously got a sea theme going on. And they give a lot of these characters names and stuff so that you can interact with them as sort of the Hell Knights in here, which I might make my antagonist in the game. Just some really cool stuff. I'm very, very impressed with it. There's lots of information in here. Like I said, all the different factions. The Hell Knights are super cool. There's just, I mean, the Firebrands are like a brigand pirate kind of organization. Of course, the Pathfinders, which I have to read up. There's a bunch of new races. They've got Leshies, which are basically fungal plant people, as a character class. And the art that really struck me the most was this one. I mean, that's just creepy and cool at the same time. So a lot of new races. You have lizard folk, which I thought was really cool that you can now be a player class. I think in D&D and Pathfinder, the lizard folk always got a rough deal because they're always kind of like bad guys, but they were intelligent. They were here long before the humans were. So it's kind of cool to see that they get a little love in here. And there's, of course, new ancestry feats. There's the Avastans, or the Tengu, as well. So you've got Aasimar, Catfolk, Changeling, Geniekin, and Tieflings. So you can add those as well. So there's a lot of just cool stuff in here. And like I said, there's a whole section on the Pathfinders and a whole section on the Hell Knights. So those are the two books for second edition. They've got a bunch of stuff. I did pick up the Pathfinder Quest Hell Knight, or whatever it is. I got book 1 and 2. I was going to run them, but I just kind of went with my own thing. I'm not a huge fan of running pre-canned adventures. I don't have a lot of time to devote to reading them and understanding them due to my job and, my being a dad and everything, and, being a husband. By the time you get home, you got to do stuff. I just don't have time to devote to reading that stuff to run the adventure properly. So I'm probably not going to buy any more of those. I kind of feel like it was wasted money. But they do give you new monsters and some new organizations and stuff like that. So there is content in there. It makes it worth it. And they're, I think, $20 each, or $19, $18, whatever, on Pathfinder, or Pathfinder on Amazon. I tend to buy a lot of that stuff off of Amazon because of the 2-day shipping or 1-day shipping. So definitely, if you're a player and or a GM, I recommend looking into these two. If you have the core book and the bestiary and the GM screen, it's really all you need, but it doesn't hurt to add to. And the character guide, I think, for players is awesome. If nothing in the core rulebook sparks you, something in here will, for sure. And I don't think, like I said, $35 on Amazon, which probably drops down to, I think, $32, maybe $30. Usually it's about a $5 discount to buy it on Amazon. And if you pre-order and the price drops, they'll refund you the difference. So really well done. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much what Mr. Mean's got for you tonight. I'll be coming back next week with some more videos. I just wanted to get that out. give a little love out to the Tome of Delving. And go pick yourself up one. It's $19.99 on their website. I'll include links below. Of course, you guys all know how to get the Pathfinder stuff. So as always, peace, love, and hair grease. And as always, Mr. Mean says, be nice.